Hello everyone, it's Rachel. So this is day 13 and I am recording it on the evening of June 2nd, but the video of course is going out on the 3rd. And I have recorded earlier a video on mindfulness for overwhelm and healing and being present to what we're all experiencing right now. And today I want to read a little bit from my journal, something that came through in meditation. Actually, I guess it would have been yesterday or the day before. In the morning, I was sitting outside, just drinking my tea and reading and writing, and just some things that were coming through to remind us of, that spark of life that's in each of us that is beautiful. And to remember that that beauty is so important to get in touch with. And so here's what came through, and I'll probably reflect a little bit on this as I read some of this to you. You are an individual, fully individuated, unique. Your emanations, your radiant energy has great power. It is uniquely gifted with energies that can affect the energy around you. Each of you, each of us are uniquely gifted. We have our own energy, and the energy around us has its own energy. And because we have the power of intention and the power of consciousness, when we focus those energies in on when we focus them very specifically, when we focus them on with intention, I should say, attention, awareness, intention, very powerful when we bring them together. So that comes back to that heart-mind coherence thing. When our hearts and our minds are together, and we focus them very intently on what we're creating, that carries great power. And when we do it together, that only amplifies it. So what's coming through for us right now is to remind us of our power, to remind us of the power that we have to shift the energy around us. Me here, sitting here in this space, you sit there, sitting there in that space, everyone in our group, and everyone, and everyone, and everyone. When we get very, think of it as not just in a little bubble of peace for yourself, but as a radiant energy coming from within you outward. From within you outward. And all of us all around doing the same thing, our energies connecting, affecting the world around us. So just contemplating this idea of, as you nurture yourself and give yourself what you need to anchor in the strength and the force of peace in yourself, that carries great power in the world when it's not just done just for yourself, but it's done as a way to anchor into the earth, into the planet, into the world. That ripple effect is real. Your truth is extremely valuable. It is needed. Your free expression is called for at this time. Do this in your own way. Your context, your circumstance, the roles you play, whether that of partner, parent, teacher, leader, artist, child of the universe. Your expression is important. All of these aspects of time in your life are all intermingling. There's a story here of your life. It is part of the stories of all lives, that is part of the bigger story and the bigger story, down to the smallest, up to the largest. So there's an aspect of ourselves here, the soul aspect, that travels through all these various experiences. And perhaps, as we can understand it, maybe that our souls are connected to each other here, and we're connected into the lineage of our own ancestry. And it's all one. It's one ancestry that we all share together. And so when we go back and we see how we're all part of the same ancestry, when we go back and we see that in our minds, we begin to understand that the only healing really is forgiveness. So connecting in with the connections that you have with your lineage and wherever the hurt is along the way there, connecting into your soul's experiences and lifetimes perhaps, connecting with where the hurt is there, and understanding that the healing must happen within our own direct line, so it can connect in with all of the lines. And then that is forgiveness. And what is forgiveness? What is it? How can we say, I forgive you? And how can we ask for forgiveness? And how can we say, I'm sorry within ourselves? Owning up to it, whatever it is, that we're a part of a hurt, a common hurting. And this brings in the awareness of the practice of Ho'oponopono, which is the native Hawaiian understanding of rather than punishing, we actually realize that those we seek to punish are those who we have failed ourselves as a community, because they are our creations together. We as a human family have an opportunity to heal through the realization that somewhere along the way in our line, all our lines together, the hurt is happening to ourselves. We are I am you and you are me. So if there's been hurt happening, a hurt to another is a hurt to yourself. And so yes, we feel all of the hurt of the world. And the prayer is, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And doing that all through the levels and layers of the line, and all through those who are what are the persecutors or the abusers, as well as the victims and those abused. They're all within us. This is a level of spiritual teaching that brings us into the remembrance of that's what compassion is. Forgiveness to yourself and your line. Now, this does not mean we are not trying to correct the wronging in the world. But what it means is this is how we can handle it as a prayer together. The energy of that is so powerful. This is how we can help others through this type of way. It is a way, in addition to whatever actions feel right for you, to take action. That energy of you and what you put out into the world actually creates the world. So we are creating a world that we wish to see by being the change. I mean, this is not new information I'm sharing. This is just an inspiration to offer hope and a deeper awareness of what can we do to be the force of healing in our world. Through forgiveness, the wave of energy of forgiveness in your heart, receiving it in, sending it out, receiving it in, sending it out. Forgiveness is the letting go of resentment, is no longer shooting the arrow back at those who shoot at you. Not easy all the time. Not so easy when the hurt is so deep. But this is what our world needs. If we're healing ourselves, we're healing our world. So when you go into your own awareness of what you're healing for yourself, or what you're strengthening for yourself, or what you're nurturing, caring for yourself, maybe things come up like shame or guilt or blame. The work here is to forgive yourself for those times you've been hard on yourself, or when you've suppressed things that you didn't want to deal with, or when you just didn't know what you didn't know. Or the parts of self that even feel ashamed for maybe the hurt that your line has caused. You know, maybe the unconscious hurt we have caused, you know. So the forgiveness of yourself so that you can then come forward and be yourself. Be okay to be yourself. Get in touch with yourself more deeply. So the patterns of energy, you know, we can move into the space of, rather than, yes, of course we're affected by what's going on in the world, but we can start to shift it into noticing when we're starting to feel victimized, or that it's too much to bear, others' energy or the world's energy or whatever's going on, and begin to shift the pattern within ourselves. And that pattern of energy inside ourselves, when we forgive ourselves and others, when we come at it from a higher perspective of saying, okay, I'm part of the solution now. I can be a cause in the world by being true to my truth, by being kind to myself, by being love. That energy is powerful and creates waves that affect our world. It's the energy of causality. You're causing it in the world, being a cause for it. And that brings strength into yourself. That's empowering for yourself when you can be the cause of that for someone else. Yes, of course, reach out when you need help. When you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it. There's no shame. And sometimes I just feel really bad. That's okay. But know that that is a changeable energy. Breathe through it. The other side will come. And then gather up your strength. Bring in the humility. Bring in the remembrance of your passion, of your gifts, of what you can bring in for your life and be the cause of it, if anything, just here and now in your space. But know that when you're doing that, that energy is creating more of it in the world. Just knowing that amplifies it. So just by choosing to be, that intention of choice, choosing to be a cause in the world, makes it so. Invites in fresh resources. Makes it so that new insights and information can come through to support that change that you're creating in the world on a 3D level and also on the 5D level, as it were, the higher perspective, what we're shifting into. I know it may not look like that in the world. It may not look like that's what we're shifting into, because all appearances are like, wow, chaos and it's falling apart. But it all has to come up if we're going to shift it, right? So here we are, it's coming up. And the opportunity now is to stay steady in your heart as best as you can. Do the work of healing and tending to your emotions and allowing yourself to feel them. But the work is to keep showing up every day for yourself. And I know that that is what you're doing because you're in this group. So I think that's enough sharing on that for now. But as we are really transmuting our energy and shifting our energy and traveling through this time period and everything that's coming up right now, keep coming back to that power inside of you and ground it into the earth and connect deep down into the earth. Put your roots down deep and gather up all her energy and bring it into you. Bring your breath awareness into earth awareness. Draw it into your being. Keep strengthening your resolve every day. And just consider your tools. What tools do you have that you can refine, that you can hone in and master? Maybe there's another something that wants to come in right now for you to find out about and grow new wings. As you expand, it gets uncomfortable. Yes, I know. Sometimes it feels like you're breaking down. The breakdown is the breakthrough, okay? Breakdown is the breakthrough. So let it happen. And then get back up. Face the day again. Sending you all my love. All my love. Blessings.